Usually you stand.
Maybe I'll stand later.
Okay. Yeah, you just throw me off here.
5:50 KTSA news time is 10:10. It is Friday. We're kicking off the weekend right now. I know it doesn't look like a Friday out there. It kind of looks like a Monday, but it's going to be a Friday right now. It's going to be the weekend right now with our gang of four. We'll meet the gang. We'll kick around the big stories of the day and the week. On our gang of four today, he is a judge on the 4th Circuit Court of Appeals for Texas. And his name is Steve Hilbig. He was just on our show, what, yesterday, day before, something like that?
Wednesday.
Very
yes,
recently.
Wednesday. Yeah,
Very recently.
Yes,
He's
thanks for
back
having
again.
me back. You know, usually you kind of give it about a month or two to let it settle down. You know?
No, we're glad to have the
I don't
judge
want to wear
here.
out my welcome.
No, absolutely not. How are you doing?
Doing fine, thank
Yeah.
you. Just rocking and rolling.
Very good. Also with us today, he ran for the state legislature in 2010, and we expect any minute now he will tell us of his next political move and future political plans. Dr. Masarat Ali. Dr.
Well,
Ali,
thank you.
welcome back. How are your businesses going? I know you have several things in the fire. Irons
Yes,
in the fire.
as always.
Not things in the fire, irons in
yes.
the fire.
But nothing unusual,
Yeah.
other than little allergies that are troubling me every morning for the last few weeks.
Now you're a doctor,
Yeah,
so what do you do?
Heal thyself.
write it out.
Great. I was thinking there'd be I was hoping for some breakthrough announcement here.
I know better.
Write it out? What kind of a prescription is that?
Live with it.
I am on top of that. I am also working on one of the blockbuster drug called Xolair. That's the anti-allergic, high-cost medicine to take to get some antibodies to treat allergies.
Uh-huh.
But I guess I have learned to deal with it.
So far not
Yes.
working. All right. Well, Dr. Ali is here, and Gilbert Garcia is here from Plaza de Armas TX.com. And Gilbert is also the author of a great book, came out during this political year, called Reagan's Comeback, which is about the 1976 Texas primary. How is that doing?
It's doing real well. We've got a book event at the state capitol in a couple of weeks at the Lieutenant Governor's reception room, and I think I might have to act like an adult. You know, I mean,
No kidding.
I mean,
Do you have any long sleeve shirts? I could loan you one.
that would be nice. Yeah, I'm gonna try to. It's a little nerve wracking for me to act like a grown up, but I'm gonna try for a couple of hours.
Have you done a lot of interviews, or, and how's that going?
Yeah,
It must be weird because you're a guy that interviews people, and now all of a sudden here you are as the subject of an interview.
And you find yourself sometimes repeating it. When I used to be a music writer, and you find yourself interviewing musicians, and you read the same quotes in other interviews they did, and I find myself repeating a lot of the same stories too. But I've done a lot of radio, and a lot of the interest has been in the parallels between '76 and 2012, and
Right.
and I have to say Rick Santorum getting out of the race has kind of has killed that a little bit, but
He blew it for
Yeah,
you.
for me,
You
yeah.
had that going.
yeah.
Is that the thing, though? Did people think Santorum's 2012 race is Reagan's 76 race?
Yeah, and there was a lot of interest in the Texas primary and whether this would be the first sort of relevant Texas presidential primary since '76.
Would have been if it had been on time,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
In fact, he might still be in the race, if you think about it, if Texas had been on the
That's true.
calendar.
I think that's
Now, of course, Reagan looked down and out after '76, but 4 years later, everything turns around. Do people think Santorum has played this right to set himself up for 4 years later?
I think he's played it about as well as he could, and I think that there was the danger because the perception had become he's fading, and it looked like he might lose Pennsylvania. So he got out at the right time. I just have a hard time seeing him being a formidable candidate 4 years from now. I think this was his run. It was a relatively weak field, and we hear people talking about 2016 and maybe Chris Christie and Nikki Haley and Bobby Jindal. There's just a really Jeb Bush might get it in the race.
A quarter of the people they're talking about run. That's a crowded field.
Yeah, so it just seemed like this was the opportunity for him.
All right, Gilbert Garcia, Masarat Ali, Steve Hilbig on Gang of Four today. All right, I want to start with you, Judge, because we got the probable cause affidavit from Angela Corey, the state special prosecutor in Florida this week. George Zimmerman charged with murder in the second degree. If you'll all pull on your headphones, I want to play what Alan Dershowitz has said. He said this on MSNBC yesterday. In essence, he says Angela Corey has blown it. They don't have a case. This is the worst probable cause affidavit he's ever seen. He says it's so bad It's unethical. Listen to this.
Or no terms.
Yeah, there are no terms. It's more like they're not texting each other dozens of times a day. Let's put it that way.
Silence is golden.
He won't be riding on the back of Lyle Larson's motorcycle. Let's put it that way. And Gilbert Garcia, you can read him at plaza.armastx.com, but you can also pick up, if you like politics, if you like American history, if you're an admirer of Ronald Reagan, any one of those reasons is a great reason to pick up Reagan's Comeback, which is your book about the 1976 Texas primary. And as you mentioned, we just missed having what would have been maybe the most important primary in the nation had we been able to get it on the calendar for early April, but oh well. Now it's going to really be a footnote. I mean, there isn't even going to be a Republican race by May 29th.
I'm sure the people in the state Republican Party are really unhappy about the way it's played out.
Although, guys, we got to be fair. Ron Paul had his big rally here yesterday.
That's true.
And Newt Gingrich says he's still in it to win it. In fact, he says now his path is clear. Now it's just him and Romney. Is Newt deluded, or is he trying to? What's going on here with Newt Gingrich? I feel like we need an intervention.
It's been kind of the strangest part of the campaign for me, just watching, because he's, people can say what they want about him. I've always seen him as a political realist, and lately he just seems to kind of be going through the motions. He doesn't seem to be really into the race, but he doesn't want to drop out, and I don't think it's not like he's really going to have any leverage at the convention or anything like that.
Yeah, I think my impression was that initially he was seen as a guy of ideas. Now he just seems like he's a guy who wants payback. And I think that doesn't do him any good.
We've seen in recent years at these political conventions, which you've covered it, Gilbert, you've seen it, and it's probably more faux than real. But at the end, when one guy gets the nomination, all the rivals come together, they all give speeches in support, they appear on stage, locking arms. I'm just not able to imagine that this time. Is that going to happen this time? I mean, these people hate Romney.
No,
they hate him.
I mean, I really think it will. In other words,
so they're phonies.
You have intramural disputes.
Right? Come on.
No, look.
They called him every name in the book. They hate him. And he carpet bombed them with negative ads.
Well, I understand all that. But again, when you come to November and it's like, all right, so I'm going to take my football and go home and risk another 4 years of what's going on, I don't think they will do that.
Well, it will not sound real. A lot of damage has been done to all of the candidates, and they have real problem, personality problem, not the issue problem.
I mean, I think this is more than the usual. We have different visions or different economic plans. They resent this guy. They think that he came in and bought this thing. I'm not saying I believe this. I think they believe he came in and bought this thing, and he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't know what it's like to earn it, and they've said stuff you can't just walk back.
Well, but again, let me use one of the favorite lines of Republicans, and that is, we ought to have equal opportunities, not equal outcome. All of them had an equal opportunity to sell their vision, and they couldn't.
Right.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Who do you blame? And to go over and say, well, I blame the guy that did a better job of it, and
that's what we do in this country now,
well,
Stephen.
I understand
you know that?
But that's what I'm saying. I think really at the end of it, look, it's kind of like Hillary and Bill campaigning for President Obama in 2008. They may not have said, hey, let's go get lunch every day, but in the long run, they ended up saying we would rather have him there than McCain there.
I think they'll be up there, except for Ron Paul, but Ron Paul is usually not part of that.
All right, CareerCast.com has come out with its annual list of the best and worst jobs. They factor in pay and stress in measuring best and worst. Best jobs, top 5: software engineer, actuary, human resources manager, dental hygienist, financial planner. I'm having a problem with number 4. I don't see how dental hygienist can be a great job.
That's
disgusting.
Human resource person? I mean,
Well, everybody's been laid off. There's nothing to do.
Well, I guess, but I mean, that could be a pretty stressful job.
Very quiet.
I'm sorry. You thought you were doing a great job. No,
nobody's knocking on the door anymore at Human Resources.
I guess maybe so.
Why is dental hygienist a good job? Somebody who's a dental hygienist needs to call in and tell us what's the big secret.
I don't
there.
see that. But
You get to look at other people's mouths and floss their teeth.
Well, not always. I mean, they are not the ones who is doing it all the time. It's their technicians, their assistant. They make a lot of money.
Maybe that's it.
All
Still
they
think
have
you'd have to look at some
all they have
gross-
to do is to look at the X-rays most of the time.
Swollen gums. Okay, worst jobs.
Not
Worst jobs. Number one, lumberjack. Now, if that's such a bad
Danger.
job, why do they have their own reality show?
Danger. That's why they got the show, because they can supplement their income.
Number two, dairy farmer. Probably got to get up really early, and you know,
And the smell.
the cows are not appreciative. Number three, soldier.
Yeah.
Obviously these days, right? Number four, oil rig worker.
Danger.
Dangerous.
Danger.
Number five, sorry Gilbert, reporter.
Yeah.
Why would that be one of the worst jobs? Because they're getting laid off, or
Yeah, because a shrinking industry, we don't get paid well, and everybody hates us. So that's.
oh, somebody needs a hug.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
Well,
I tell you what, it's a big
I
difference.
made my peace with that. It's okay.
Big difference between
The
now and
white and the
Watergate,
blacks, they
right?
both hate it.
After Watergate, everybody wanted to be a journalist. Now it's like, you
What
know,
happened?
Yeah, things took a turn.
Yeah.
You just can't make anybody happy.
All right, Mayor Julian Castro, good guy. You know, not everybody thinks he's a nice guy, but if they disagree with him politically, right? He's very well liked here in San Antonio. But he's going to have to catch up to the mayor of Newark, Cory Booker. Have you heard this? Mayor of Newark, Cory Booker, running into a burning house last night and rescuing his neighbor. Both of them suffered burns and smoke inhalation. The mayor will be okay. But there's your re-election ad right there. I mean, you can't do
He's a
better
former
than that.
football player, if I remember correctly. I mean, he's a pretty athletic guy. So, yeah, it's a hard story to top.
Burning building. There was a Steve. You're laughing. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
Come on.
15 different things. I'm
What were you thinking?
I'm gonna hate myself tonight.
We had a story this week about how Pizza Hut over in the UK. Now, they're not offering it here. You're going to be jealous when I tell you this.
Bacon.
Over in the UK, they're offering hot dog stuffed crust pizza. So it's like a pig in a blanket with a side of pizza. The crust has a hot dog in the middle. The hot dog is in the middle of the crust of the pizza. Who thinks of these things?
Yeah, it should be Italian sausage.
Why does it have to be anything in the crust?
Well, but I mean, now wouldn't Italian sausage make better
Put it on.
sense?
You put it on the pizza. You don't
Well,
put it
but
in
it
the
would make
crust.
better sense if you're going to stuff anything.
The
than a
crust is
hot
the
dog.
handle.
Yeah.
The crust is the handle.
I thought it was going to be fish and chips pizza or something.
That would make more
Custard
sense.
pie,
But now listen to this. Now in Nashville, only in Nashville, and only as a test, Burger King is offering a bacon
Yeah.
ice cream sundae.
Yeah.
You're liking it, Steve.
No, I'm not. I heard that last night and I thought, are you crazy? I just can't imagine bacon.
I like to eat, obviously, look at me, but I mean, that
Bacon
doesn't
and ice
sound
cream?
good to me.
I mean, the bacon's got to be greasy. You can put hot bacon on ice cream and then melt the ice cream.
You'd have to
I mean,
cool
you know?
I guess you have to cool the bacon first.
Yeah, but then it almost becomes greasy. I mean, you know, unless you microwave it. My wife knows how to do that.
You know, Dr. Ali, if you're
Greasy.
eating a bacon ice cream sundae, it's like a cry for help, really, isn't it? Isn't that the food equivalent of putting a gun to your head, basically? You're saying, somebody, please stop me.
Hey, there's a banana in there. It's healthy.
You know?
It almost
Well, some
qualifies
of
as a
them,
suicide note, I think.
It
really,
is. It's
you know?
like a cry for help.
Yeah, it's like
Some of them out there, they think that they are Steve Jobs. They can create the demand when you don't think there is one.
Maybe so. So, like, the bacon sundae is what, the Commodore 64 was at one time. But what about this? Are we in such a hurry now, Gilbert, that we're trying to, like, combine everything into one meal? Because this is like breakfast and dessert and,
I know people who don't want any of their.
How about have some bacon in the morning and have an ice
Yeah.
cream sundae later on?
I know some people don't want to have anything, any of their food touching, even when they're having
my
a meal
daughter's
together.
like
You know,
that, yeah.
and so I mean, this is a little. I don't
So
get
nobody
this.
here wants a bacon sundae.
No.
Because I was going to treat you all to one here at the end of the
If
show.
you fly us down there, I'll buy it.
But, if we fly to
If you
Nashville,
fly, yeah,
you'd
I
eat it?
might,
Yeah.
I might, you know.
I don't think if you put a gun to my head, I could choke down a bacon sundae. Or a bacon milkshake. They have bacon milkshakes, one of these places too. I don't know which fast food place has
I
that.
forgot that one.
But, all right. So, we're old-fashioned. We like bacon and eggs, right?
Not even in self-defense.
Yes, okay, I'll use it as a self-defense. Boy, you're hung up on that, aren't you?
It all circular. It comes
The
back.
white devil cannot get away with anything on this show. All right. Well, on that note, on that bacon-flavored note, we say to Gilbert Garcia, thank you for coming in. Good luck with Reagan's comeback.
Thank you very much.
I hope it keeps selling well and you keep doing those interviews.
I'm
Dr.
sorry.
Masarat Ali. No, it's all right. Hey, Not a problem.
Anything goes for self-defense.
Absolutely. I'm the white devil. And Steve Hilbig, Judge Steve Hilbig. Judge, thanks for coming in today. Thanks for the
Always
legal
enjoy.
analysis
Always
on all
enjoy.
this. And of course, Gang of Four every Friday. You can always find the podcast of Gang of Four free in the iTunes store under Jack Riccardi or ktsa.com on the Jack Riccardi page. Into the newsroom. It's 11:41 on 550 KTSA.
Judge, nice meeting you.
All right, very nice seeing you.
Would you buy anything?